It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Namaste, and welcome to the Divas That Care Network. I'm your host, Gia-Raquel Rose, owner of Airs Above Yoga, and you're listening to Above the Ground podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, our network is in its 14th year and listened to in over 30 countries. I'd like to personally thank you for giving me the gift of your time. It's an honor to hold space with you. And today, going with the theme of Shavasana and rest, and as we begin to look towards the transition from fall to winter, things tend to turn inward. The temperature gets a little bit cooler. We find ourselves in a state of our own form of hibernation. And so, in keeping with the idea of Shavasana, this meditation will be essentially one that you would be able to utilize in Shavasana. So it will be led through as though you just experienced your own yoga practice, or even if you choose to just experience the idea of Shavasana as a posture and a practice in and of itself. As we mentioned the last time, you can begin at the end and you can absolutely start a yoga practice and start to implement that into your day with the simple act of bringing yourself to your mat, breathing, and in this instance, laying down. And so, what I wanted to talk a little bit about is one of my favorite sayings that my friend and I had together whenever we were stressed out, or we would reach out to each other and call, and just everything was getting to be too much. It was overwhelming. And I think that everyone has experienced those times of overwhelm, with the holidays coming up, with everything going on in the world, where there's so much external stimulants that it's so hard to tune it out and really just come to a place of calm and peace. And so whenever one of us or the other was feeling like it was just getting to be a bit too much, I remember saying on the phone to her, I'm laying down and it's just not enough. I need to lay down harder. And so this meditation is going to be my way of helping everyone to quote unquote lay down harder when laying on the floor and being completely supported by even your bed, if not the floor. But the floor beneath you is just not enough, and you're still so exhausted or so overstimulated or so, again, overwhelmed that even laying down is not rest and support enough. And I believe women, especially we as women, can feel that all the time. I really think that it's such a problem in this day and age, with the amount of responsibilities that we have and how often we hold ourselves accountable for so many others and so many other things that are potentially not even our own, or not even necessary for us to take responsibility for or accountability for, but we do because we are female and because it is in our nature to support and to uphold. And I feel as though sometimes we need to lay down harder. And so, if you ever have that experience where the day is just getting away from you, or you know that you have a to-do list that is miles long, or you have more tabs open, if you're like me on your laptop and you're a tab hoarder, you have more tabs open in your mind and on your computer and in your cell phone than you have the capacity to sift through. Emails are piling up, all of those things. And you've just feel as though even being in your own bed, blessed enough to have a bed, with your eyes closed on a comfortable pillow, is still not quite bringing you to the place of stillness that you need. And I hope that this meditation offers you a way to truly release and let go. And even just for the few moments that you're in it gives you some form of respite and brings you even just a smidgen of peace. And to that end, I want to make sure that I'm clear that this is not a method of escapism, because a lot of times people can say, well, you're just running away from your problems. That's not the case. Everything will still be there for you. And this will hopefully put you in a more centered state to tackle that to-do list, to support the people around you that you take accountability and responsibility for, your family, your friends, your pets, your children, everybody. And I will say the very trite saying because it's true. That's why it becomes trite. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And so I hope that this meditation helps you to at least fill your cup a little bit. At least set your cup upright from laying down so that it is has the capacity to be full. And may it be full to the brim with blessings for each and every one of you listening to this. As we go through this meditation, there will be a few minutes of complete silence. And that is so that as you enter a shavasana, I've been to yoga classes and, workshops and trainings, etc., where people talk through the entirety of a shavasana. And there's no wrong, there's no bad, there's no judgment. I personally feel as though quiet and stillness brings the deepest form of relaxation in that state. And so I won't leave you hanging for, 20 minutes, but it will be a few moments of complete silence. So please don't think that the meditation is over at that point in time, but it will just be there for you so that even though I'm not with you in the room energetically, I can hold space for you in that small period of time to, again, turn your cup from horizontal to upright so that you can begin to fill it again. And I hope that that metaphor and the idea of laying down harder resonates with you as it has with my friend and with me in the past and currently in the present as the holidays are looming. And I know all of us are just starting to think about how much we have on our plates in front of us. And so, to that end, I will begin by going once more over the idea of Shavasana to know that it is typically practiced and associated at the end of a yoga practice. It is the posture known as corpse pose, where one is fully and completely still on the floor. The breath is totally relaxed. And I would like to add a few options for you. I won't go too far into detail, but we do have a 7 chakra system. And yoga is based on the idea of unifying the chakras, creating a flow of energy. And again, this is a very brief overview, but there are some other ways that you can take Shavasana, assuming that your body is comfortable. And one of those ways is the traditional form where you lay completely on your back, allowing your legs to fall to the sides ever so slightly, toes to the sides. As long as it's comfortable for your lower back, you can also place a pillow or bolster behind your knees. Your arms would be comfortably at your sides with your palms facing up traditionally, or if you're feeling a bit frazzled and you need a little more grounding in your practice or through your Shavasana, you would take the palms to face down towards the floor. That is the traditional pose. Now, if you are doing this as a start to your own yoga practice, one of my favorite ways to practice Shavasana is with legs at the wall. And the reason for that is many, feel free to Google. However, when you take your legs up the wall, there are a few benefits. If inversions are not in your practice, it is possible to begin an inversion practice with legs up the wall. It's very, very gentle. It supports the hips and lower back, and it also takes energy and blood flow from the legs and draws it down through the sheer force of gravity to the torso and towards the heart. And what's great about this is it gives your heart a gentle rest from all of the work that it needs to do. So if you do choose to practice legs up the wall, you would gently roll on your side and you would scooch your sit bones, your pelvis, the bottom of your pelvis, all the way up against the wall so that your knees are tucked very tightly into your chest. And then with as much grace as one can muster, They would roll onto their back, and inevitably you will be off kilter a little bit. So shimmy yourself once you are hips to the wall and legs up the wall so that you feel both sit bones evenly pressed against the wall with your entire back on the floor. You can feel free to lay on a blanket or a towel to make it a little more comfortable. But this is another option for Shavasana that is very, very beneficial. There are a few others that I've gone over that target each chakra, and I will talk about those more another time. But these are two of the safest, most basic ways for you to experience Shavasana gently, effectively, and hopefully restoratively. And so from there, I will begin to lead you through the meditation as you begin to set yourself up by bringing your body fully in contact with the support of the earth beneath you. Begin at first to consciously deepen your breathing. And as you breathe, deeply and thoroughly engage all of the muscles in your body at once. Gently squeezing, and then all at once completely relaxing. Relaxing into the support of the earth beneath you. Relaxing every single muscle in your body. Feeling very, very heavy on the floor. And at the same time, completely weightless with the support that the earth provides you. Taking a moment to focus on your breath. Notice where you feel your inhales. Pay attention to any subtle changes as you exhale. And with a few rounds of breath, begin to make your way towards that still and quiet place within you. If it helps you, potentially visualize a light or a small candle flame. And gently allow yourself to follow, coming closer to it, finding yourself in its calm, warming presence. And in this very safe place, allowing an intention to come to you. And when you feel your intention, allowing that intention to carry you into your Shavasana as you begin to completely relax your breath. Gently begin to deepen your breathing once more. Noticing any changes in the sensation of the breath entering the body, or as you exhale, any deeper elements of relaxation that you might feel. And as you continue to breathe, allow your awareness to drift back to your intention, allow your intention to ground you back into your body. as you begin to make small, gentle movements, beginning with your extremities, wiggling toes and fingers, rolling wrists and ankles, bringing yourself back into you in with your body by drawing your knees into your chest, giving yourself a great big hug, and eventually rolling to your right side and pausing here, taking a moment in this place in this state of relaxation, yourself and the support of the earth beneath you, a support that is always there for you and can be found anytime you give yourself the space to meet yourself there. And when you're ready, gently making your way up to a comfortable seated position. And as you find yourself there, beginning to ground down to all the points of contact between yourself and the earth beneath you. As you lengthen very tall through the crown of your head and join your palms together at your heart. Coming from a space of gratitude for your body, your breath, and your practice. Om Shanti. Namaste. And that is a very gentle and not too long a period of time for you to begin to implement a Shavasana meditation at the end of your yoga practice or as your yoga practice in and of itself. And I'd like to take just a few more moments for those who have a yoga practice and feel comfortable in the poses that I'm about to mention. If they are accessible for you and easy, and when I say easy, I mean that you can be in them for a number of minutes comfortably and settle into sensations of openness rather than strain. Then there are some options for Shavasana that can target a specific chakra. Traditionally, and what I would associate with the crown chakra is the Shavasana fully in contact with the ground, toes falling to the side, palms faced up, and also with the root chakra with the palms facing down, as life is nothing but a cycle which tends to come full circle. I tend to associate legs up the wall, which is the second option that I mentioned, with the heart chakra, as it gives rest to the heart by allowing gravity to bring blood flow back to the torso. Another way to support the lower back and also the root chakra is to come into Shavasana with edges of the feet at the edges of the mat, knees bent, and resting comfortably on each other, putting the legs in internal rotation and allowing the lower back to release. This is also another great option for anyone who is uncomfortable with their legs out and extended. And definitely helps with the sensation of grounding by having the feet firmly planted on the mat. Palms are similar, as is the torso, to traditional Shavasana. Another option for the sacral chakra is reclined bound angle. The soles of the feet will press into each other, the knees will fall wide. This can put a little bit of pressure on the lower back, and if you're not comfortable there, then you can use pillows, blocks, rolled up towels, or props between the thighs and the floor to reduce the angle in the hip, should this be something that feels comfortable for you. An option for the solar plexus chakra, or the third chakra, would be coming into a supported bridge. So this would mean taking the feet to stack just under the knees, using a thicker part of the block or a pillow underneath the sacrum, which is at the pelvis. It feels somewhat like a triangular shape, and it's just above the tailbone. I prefer a bolster to a block or a few pillows to support. And traditionally, in a bridge posture, you would roll the shoulders under. You would keep the neck very long and the gaze up at the ceiling. For this particular practice, I would keep your complete torso from about the belly button up in contact with the floor and have a very gentle angle of the pelvis above the heart, allowing again that energy to flow towards the navel center and the solar plexus chakra. And again, only practice these variations if they are in your practice and comfortable for you. Another option for the throat chakra, as we've touched on the heart chakra with legs up the wall, is supported fish pose. And again, with a bolster and with comfort being the top priority in any Shavasana, aligning a bolster or pillows from the middle of the back up through the back of the head so that you have a long support system above the navel center, all the way up with a gentle opening feeling of the throat and opening feeling of the heart center. The legs will remain outstretched, again with toes falling to the side, or if that's uncomfortable for the lower back, knees bent, resting on each other, the edges of the feet in line with the edges of the mat. The palms would then be face up at either side, allowing the shoulders to fall open around the edges of the pillow or bolster. I do not recommend a block for this position at all. You want to have full support of the back of the neck and of the shoulders opening. So this is a modified, restorative, and supportive version of fish pose. So this will open up the throat chakra, open up the heart center and the collarbone, and release any tension in the upper back with the palms facing up at either side. Lastly, for those who want to tap into their intuition and their third eye, coming into Shavasana in a prone position, taking the edges of the feet to the edges of the mat, laying on the belly, turning the insides of the feet to the floor as long as it's comfortable for your knees, and allowing the full front of the body to be in contact with the floor, taking the palms to stack one on top of the other, and resting the forehead on both palms with your elbows out to both sides. And if this is comfortable for your neck and for your body, coming into Shavasana in a prone position with the energy focused on the third eye chakra. These are just some variations for people with a yoga practice who would like to experiment with deepening their connection with individual chakras in their Shavasana. But for people just starting out, a traditional Shavasana with the legs outstretched, toes to the side, palms faced up or down, is a wonderful place to start and a beautiful gift to give yourself. And I'm always here to support anyone who feels they need grounding, help turning inwards, or help laying down just a little bit harder. I so appreciate each and every one of you for sharing your space with me. So please feel free to share the same with your loved ones. For more goodness, follow me on all the socials at Above the Ground Podcast, or visit my website, airsAboveYoga.com. And as always, please give my fellow divas a listen and look to Blog Talk Radio for other episodes, not only of Above the Ground, but of all the hosts on Divas That Care Network. We can also be found at SoundCloud, Spotify, Odyssey, Apple, and anywhere else you may feel guided to have a listen. Again, this is Gia-Raquel Rose, owner of Airs Above Yoga, and you're listening to Above the Ground Podcast, where every day is a good one.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.